time is the same way. We think that time is, is this, but no, really time is this. Because what time is it? Well, it's now. Okay, how about, I'll ask the question again. What time is it? It's now. Oh, wait a minute. It's always the same time. So from like a universal perspective, there is no time. Now, what does it have to do with thinking? Well, actually, everything it has to do with thinking. Think of your thoughts as the free flow of thoughts. And when you have moments of presence is when you create space in between your thoughts. And you're observing the thoughts. Because usually the habit is to not activate this. It's just to have this. You drive, blah, 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 blah. You lay in bed, blah, 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 blah. You have a conversation with somebody, the mind's still going. Chances are that you have an internal dialogue with yourself right now. That you're like thinking and analyzing of all the things I'm saying, okay? Do a little drill. Try and stop that. Could anyone stop it? Okay, stop thinking right now. No more thoughts. It's kind of hard to do. How about this? Do this. Say to yourself, I wonder what thought I'm going to have next. And then watch for your next thought. Try it right now. Anyone still waiting for your thought? Yeah. Then you stop thinking. That's a drill. Here's another little drill. These are little like, Zen drills. Is when you listen to me right now, don't just listen to the words, listen to the space in between the words. So focus your attention on the silence. The pause, focus, and then you hear the words. And when you place your attention on the silence, did anyone stop thinking for that brief moment? Yeah, usually is what you do. And that's just a good thing to try it anytime. Try it like when you're driving. Just listen to the silence. Because even if it's constant noise, there's silence underneath it. Because silence is what allows sound to exist in the same way that space allows form to exist. You can't have form without space. It's impossible. It's like a canvas allows the painting to exist. I mean, whatever analogies, there's many different analogies. But it's like even this room is mostly space. Oh, it gets weirder. If you look at you or any sort of form under a high-powered microscope, what is it? What are we mostly? The what? Yeah, atoms. And what's an atom is mostly what? Space, yeah. Yeah, it's more, there's more no thing than form. It gets really weird. Okay, here's how it gets weirder. If you really want to get into the quantum model, we flash in and out of existence at the speed of light. That's where it gets freaky. We think that this is solid. We go like this. Hey, wait a minute, it's solid. Well, from one viewpoint, it is. But like from a quantum viewpoint, if you really look at what it is, no. We pop up and we flash in and out of existence. Why can't we see it? Well, when you go to the movies, how come you don't see the frame? Tuck, 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 tuck. You think Brad Pitt's, running with a sword, but no. Here, 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 here. It's like that. But at 24 frames per second, it creates an optical illusion that it looks like it's motion. In the same way, when we flash in and out, like this, it's faster than our senses can perceive. But we have to know it to not be true. It's kind of like, the earth looks flat, but we all know it's not. Does the sun rise in the east and set in the west? Depends on the viewpoint, right? From this viewpoint, okay, we can, we can look at it. But from the viewpoint of space, the sun shines continuously. So it's it's kind of a relative, so again, so think of time as the same way, it's relative. So the how you're thinking, the biggest thing that you can do to increase or let's say a little immortality discipline is you watch your mind. You watch your mind, you observe your thoughts. And when you start to observe your thoughts, you can create space in between the thoughts. Because see, all of you have had this moment training. You can't not have this moment if you've been training for a while. You have those moments as a bliss. But you don't really realize it when you're in it. Because the moment you're doing something and you say, hey, cool, I'm not thinking. Well, what'd you just do? Yeah, So it's one of those things is you just experience it. Then maybe afterwards you can kind of reflect upon it. But being able to do this, it's an unbelievable practice. Just even the little drill of listening to the silence in between your thoughts is an unbelievably, let's say, powerful transformational process. Because then you do literally raise the vibrational frequency. of your thoughts. So here's what I want to do. My plan was to keep the first part into 20 minutes. I think I've been about 20 minutes right now. Let me do a quick recap, and then I'll get into some of this stuff in a little bit more detail. I'll also take questions as well. So the immortality formula: 1 is how you move, 2 is how you eat, and 3 is how you think. The movement consists of supercharging the battery, regulating the 8 vessels, letting the 12 meridians, energies flow. The how you eat, a lot of it is just being present. Once I did this talk and I used the word mindful, like eating mindfully, but I don't like that word mindfully. It's actually with no mind, with no thought. But then again, no mind, well that's like, I don't like that word either, because that sounds like you're stupid, with no mind. So I'll use the word eating with presence and tasting everything. Actually really, really tasting everything. Because guess what? Your body knows what it needs more than a book. More than any sort of plan. But what happens is this gets in the way. The thinking mind gets in the way. And then also, back to this is how you think. Because when you create space in between your thoughts, it's very, very powerful. Or doing something creative. When you have like moments of creativity, they come out of no thought. They come out of a gap or a void. Like every, great piece of music, art, or literature, or even, a lot of science, it comes out of nothing. There's like a space, then boom, and it just hits because you feel the void. Questions on this before we move on to the next part? Okay, so now let's get a little bit more detailed into this. Okay. So this is pretty cool. So we have yin, we have yang. Okay, so this is yin and yang made simple. So think of yin and yang as a classification system. So if you have something here and you have something here, is this yin or yang? Well, that's a trick question. Compared to this, it's yin. Compared to that, it's yang. So yin and yang are not static. I've been asked questions, well, is a potato yin or yang? Well, compared to what? Compared to a pea or compared to an elephant? It depends on what it is. So nothing will be yin and yang by itself. Okay? Make sense? So then what we have is, you've all seen this. You've all seen that symbol, but that symbol isn't entirely accurate. This is a 2-dimensional representation of something that's 3-dimensional. So actually, yin and yang is like a ball. It's a 3-dimensional ball, and it spins. And it spins, and it actually lets off like the proton and the neutron, is what happens. And this is like, let's say, the building blocks of form. Positive, and that's negative. Okay, so it's like in all form has like a positive and a negative charge. Make sense? Okay, so now what happens, you have this positive and negative charge. So we have yin and yang. So we have this, we have clouds. We have water. Okay, we have rain going down. And we have condensation going up. Okay? Clouds. Relative to this, are the clouds yin or yang? Yang. Why yang? That's correct. Why?
Because they're higher up.
Yeah, usually the yang is on top. That's all. Could you call yin on top? Sure, doesn't matter. But this is the word we used for being on top. So it doesn't matter, so that would be yang. What would the water be?
Yin.
Yin, right? What's the rain?
Yin.
Oh, what did you just say that? What did you say?
Yin.
You gave it away. I didn't think it was right. That's actually right. It was a trick question. There's no way. You got that at the advanced studies class, right? Did you? Yeah, okay. Okay. I set you up to not know the answer, by the way. It is yin of yang. Think about that.